Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today what we are going to be going over is the 2020 governor elections. What I'm going to be doing is going over each individual state and give my justification for each one. This time around there are not too many governors elections and none are very too competitive, which might seem a little weird since the states of New Hampshire, North Carolina, Montana, Missouri, Indiana, states that are typically more competitive in the governor level, they are not necessarily super competitive this time around. So, looking at the states that are competitive, or are not competitive, sorry, North Dakota, it's one state that there generally is not too much Democratic opposition in the state, and I don't see them even narrowing up whatsoever. Additionally, in the state of Utah, a very contested Republican primary there, the former governor of Utah actually losing in the primary, which is very notable, showing how the Republican nominee is likely very strong and very well liked in the state of Utah. Next is the state of West Virginia. I have a feeling that it might narrow down in the Senate race, if anything, but the governor's race is likely not going to go to very narrowly to, well, it's going to go exponentially for the Republicans. I don't see any scenario where the Democrat would win, despite the fact that the current incumbent Republican governor was formerly a Democrat and then just switched just for the heck of it, basically, out of his support of Donald Trump. Next is the safe blue seats. The state of Delaware, again, no real Republican opposition. Republicans not really raising too much money. I don't see a Republican really going into statewide office in the state of Delaware anytime soon, along with the state of Washington. Again, a very blue state. I don't really see any Republicans going into statewide office unless there is a midterm year during a Democratic presidency where the Democrat is extremely well disliked. Unless there's like an absolute landslide year for the Republicans, I highly doubt these seats would ever get competitive. Okay, going on to our likely states. The first likely state is going to be the state of New Hampshire. The current incumbent Republican governor, Chris Sununu, is one of the most popular governors in the country. In current polling, he is leading his Democratic challengers by double digits, and more than double digits by 20-30 points. And however, despite the fact of that, I have a feeling it will narrow up like it did back in 2018. Chris Sununu only winning by about 7 percentage points in the state of New Hampshire, which, is quite notable considering the fact that this is a Hillary Clinton state. And Chris Sununu did win back in 2016 as well. So he is a very well-liked Republican governor. And also in the state of Vermont, a pretty notable challenger, the first ever transgender major party candidate on a ballot for governor in the state of Vermont, Kristen Hallquist. She narrowed it up to about a 15-point margin. However, with no real strong Democratic opposition this time around, I see this state going safe for the Republicans. Phil Scott applauded for his coronavirus handling. I have a feeling that he's just going to win, likely by a landslide, if anything, probably 15 to 20 points. Going to the state of Indiana, I'm just going to give this as a safe rating. It might narrow down to a likely margin if the presidential race is going to narrow down as well. However, again, a modestly popular governor, not an extremely notable Democratic opposition with this state. Now the Republicans have 25, they'll need one more state. And, yeah. Going into the likely Democratic seat, North Carolina. Roy Cooper is the current incumbent Democratic governor. He won back in 2016, despite the fact that Trump and Tom Tillis won this state. Well, not Tom Tillis. The Republican senator, they won that state in that year, and he narrowly edged out a win. And due to his coronavirus handlings, due to his general appeal to moderates and independents in the state of North Carolina, he has been leading in polls by double digits, by, in some polls, 20 points. And however, despite the fact that he's not going to win by 20 points, he's still going to lead and win by quite a substantial margin, between, I'm guessing, about 8 to 12, which in the state of North Carolina is absolutely insane. And the fact that he could do that and could actually push Joe Biden and Cal Cunningham on the Senate level over the finish line, that is 100% possible. Next, going into our lean state, it's the state of Missouri. Generally, Mike Parsons, he's not a very well-liked governor in the state of Missouri. His comments have really gotten him in trouble with Missourians. I believe that's how you say it. In the state, the current, I believe, state auditor is currently running against him as the Democratic opposition. In current polling, I believe that they are quite close together. And this could be a seat that the Democrats, if they pull off a wave election this year, they could win the seat along with the state of Montana. However, I generally see this as a lean state for the Republicans for now. And additionally, with the state of Missouri goes the state of Montana. The current governor, Steve Bullock, a very well-liked governor running for Senate actually, is retiring due to term limits, and his current lieutenant governor is Mike Cooney. He is the Democrat running against the Republican challenger. And due to the fact that this is somewhat of an open seat and Montana can fluctuate on who they vote for on different levels. For example, back in 2016, Steve Bullock won the state as a Democrat, despite the fact that Donald Trump took that state by double digits. And generally, I just don't see the Democrats winning the state at this moment in time. This state could easily go to the Republicans by double digits. I can 100% see that. But I could also see a narrow Democratic win. In the Democrats' best scenario, they could probably pick up Montana and Missouri. However, I just generally don't see that at this point. So, this is my current 2020 governor election results prediction. I think that this is likely how it's going to go if the election were held today. The Republicans would just gain one seat, which, it might seem a little weird considering the fact that Joe Biden is favored to win the presidency. The Democrats are favored to flip the Senate and keep the House. And the fact that the governor's race is actually having the Republicans gain the seat is a little weird. However, due to the fact that Republicans are generally more popular on the national level in states that are generally more Democratic, such as with the state of Maryland or Massachusetts, them both having very popular Republican governors. Because of that, I have a feeling that this is how it's likely going to go on election night. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me suggestions down in the comments below. Like and share, subscribe. Thank you.